Magandang gabi mga kaibigan, sa aking mga subscriber, sa aking mga silent viewer dyan. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Shout out sa inyong lahat. Mga kaibigan, ito. May dalawang coins ako dito. Si Artemio Ricarte. Si General Artemio Ricarte mga kaibigan. Ito galing to kay Ma'am Irene. Shout out sa iyo Ma'am Irene. Salamat sa iyo sa coins nyo. Itong isa naman galing kay Ma'am Mayra. Ma'am Mayra, shout out sa iyo. Salamat sa coins mo. Andito na oh. Itong pag-uusapan natin mga kaibigan. So mga kaibigan, baka naman pwede maglambing ng subscribe. Pa-press na subscribe, pa-press na notification bell, pa-select ng all para ma-notify kayo pag ako nag-upload ng video. Pa-like na rin at kung gusto nyo i-share, pa-share na rin. Mga kaibigan, si Artemio Ricarte, si General Artemio Ricarte. Artemio Ricarte E. Garcia, October 20, 1866 to July 31, 1945. Was a Filipino general during the Philippine Revolution and the Philippine-American War. He is regarded as the father of the Philippine Army and the first chief of staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Bas, di ba ang kauna-unahang chief of staff ay si General Luna? Siguro sa panibagong ano to. New Republic of the Philippines. March 22, 1897, January 2, 1899, through the present Philippine Army descended from the American Allied Force that defeated the Philippine Revolutionary Army led by General Ricarte. Ricarte is notable for never having taken an catch of allegiance to the United States government that occupied the Philippines from 1898 to 1946. Artemio Ricarte was middle child of Esteban Ricarte E. Faustino and Bonifacia Garcia E. Rigonan. The other were Uno and Illuminad. They were all born in the town of Batac, Ilocos Norte. Artemio finished early studies in his hometown and moved to Manila for the tertiary education. He enrolled at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree. He prepared for teaching profession at the University of Santo Tomas and then at the Escuela Normal. After finishing his studies, he was sent to the town of San Francisco de Malabon, now General Trias in Cavite, to supervise a primary school. There he met Mariano Alvarez, another school teacher and a surviving revolutionary of the 1872 Cavite Mutiny. Ricarte joined the rank of the Katipunan under the Magdiwang Council, where he held the rank of Lieutenant General. He adopted the nom de guerra Bibura Biber. After the start of the Philippine Revolution on August 31, 1896, Ricarte led the revolutionists in attacking the Spanish garrison in San Francisco de Malabon. He crushed the Spanish troops and locked the civil guards prisoner on March 22, 1897. During the Tejeros Convention, Ricarte was an unanimously elected Captain General of a new revolutionary government under Emilio Aguinaldo as president. While he took his oath of office alongside Aguinaldo, he at first joined the Katipunan leader Andres Bonifacio protest against the legitimacy of the government alongside most other Magdiwang leaders. But he and the others abandoned Bonifacio within a month, and he assumed his office in Aguinaldo's government on April 24. Later, he received a military promotion to Brigadier General in Aguinaldo's army. He led his men in various battles in Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas. Aguinaldo designated him to remain in Biak na Bato, San Miguel, Bulacan, to supervise the surrender of arms such that both the Spanish government and Aguinaldo's officers complied with the terms of the peace pact. The second phase of the Philippine Revolution was ushered in when the Americans brought back Aguinaldo from exile on May 19, 1898. Ricarte was a minor figure of this stage. He was the rebel commander of Santa Ana when Manila failed to the combined Filipino-American force on August 13, 1898 with the help of Rear Admiral George Dewey, commander of the American Asiatic Squadron anchored in Manila Bay, and General Wesley Merritt of the American Army. The Filipino troops rout the Spanish command of General Fermin Jaudenes. This eventually led General Jaudenes to surrender the city of Manila to Admiral Dewey, thus the liberation of the Philippines from the Spanish colonizer. General Ricarte was jubilant over the victory, thinking it was the prelude to the attainment of complete Philippine independence. Unfortunately, however, the Americans afterwards refused to recognize the participation of the Filipinos in the siege of the city and even deprived them of their rights as victors to triumphantly enter its gate. The Americans, having gotten rid of the Spanish with the help of Filipinos, were intent of passing the Philippines. This development surrendered Ricarte to the extent that later on he considered another option by which Filipinos could gain their independence. When the Philippine-American War started in 1899, he was chief of operation of the Philippine Force in the 3rd Zone around Manila in July 1900s. He tried to infiltrate the American lines to enter Manila, but he was captured by the Americans. For 6 months, he was locked up in the beloved prison, but stubbornly refused to swear allegiance to the United States. Because of this, the American exiled him to Guam together with many of the other rebels prisoners in the island, termed irreconciliables by them, including Apolinario Mabini. The exile lasted for 2 years. In early 1903, both Ricarte and Mabini would be allowed back into the Philippines upon taking the oath of allegiance to Americans, just as the United States Army transport Thomas pulled into Manila Bay. Both were asked to take the oath. Mabini, who was ill, took the oath, but Ricarte refused. Ricarte was set free but banned from the Philippines without setting foot on Philippine soil. He was placed on the transport Garlic and sailed to Hong Kong. On December 23, 1903, Ricarte arrived in the Philippines secretly as a stowaway in the Prater, planning to reunite with former members of the army and rekindle the Philippine Revolution. Upon meeting with the several former members and friends, he discussed his general plan and the continuation of the revolution. After said meeting, some of these members turned on Ricarte and notified the Americans, especially former General Pio del Pilar. A reward for $10,000 was then issued for Ricarte capture, dead or alive. In the following weeks, Ricarte traveled through Central Luzon trying to drum up support for the cause. In early 1904, Ricarte was stricken by an illness and put him at rest for nearly 2 months, just as his health was returning. A clerk from his outfit, Luis Baltasar, turned against him and notified the local Philippines Constabulary of his location at Maribeles, Bataan. In May 1904, Ricarte was arrested and spent the next 6 years at Bilibid Prison. Ricarte was well received and respected by both the Philippine and American authorities. He was frequently visited by the old friends from the Philippine Revolutionary War as well as U.S. government officials, including Vice President of the United States under Theodore Roosevelt, Charles Fairbanks. Due to good behavior, Ricarte served only 6 years and his 11-year sentence on June 26, 1910. He was released from Bilibid, but upon his exit, he was detained by American authorities and taken to the Custom House in Bagong Bayan. He was again ordered to pledge his oath of allegiance to the U.S. state. He still refused to swear allegiance, and within the hour of the same day, he was again put on the transport and deported to Hong Kong. From July 1, 1910 to 1915, Ricarte lived in Hong Kong, first of Lama Island, at the month of the harbor, and later in Kowloon, wherein initiated a publication of the fortnightly El Grito de Presente, the cry of the present. His name was respectedly brought to light whenever any manner of uprising occurred in the Philippines. To get away from the damaging propaganda, he and his wife, together with his family, moved to Tokyo and ang haba naman pala ng istorya nito ni General Ricarte. Later, to Yokohama, Japan, where he lived in self-exile at 149 Yamashita, Chu. While in Japan, Ricarte and his wife, Angenda, opened a small restaurant, Karihan Libermin, and returned to teaching. They chose this name for it is so that Filipino travelers in Japan would know that there were Filipinos living there. Being an educator, General Ricarte taught Spanish language at the Kaigay Shukumen Gakko School in Tokyo to urgent the family income. Agenda sold copies of her husband's book, Hispano-Philippine Revolution or Himagsikan ng mga Pilipino laban sa Kastila. The Revolution of Filipinos Against the Spanish was published in Yokohama in 1927. It became very saleable to Filipinos on board ship. Agenda Esteban, his wife, engaged in the real estate business, which enabled the couple to purchase 3 houses in Japan. In all of the years they stayed in Japan, Ricarte dreamed of an independent Philippine never waned. Every year he never failed to celebrate Rizal Day and Bonifacio Day by hosting big affair with Filipino residents and Japanese officials. Just as Ricarte life was fading away into obscurity, World War II began and Imperial Japanese Army invaded the Philippines in 1942. When Japan military force occupied Manila, Prime Minister Hideki Toho asked Ricarte to return to the Philippines to help maintain peace and order. He agreed and requested Toho to give Philippines its genuine independence from American colonial rule. Toho thus promised Ricarte that if he could bring about peace and order in the Philippines within a year, the Japanese government would hand back to the Filipino people their independence, as he had always aspired to see a free Philippines. Ricarte accepted the offer. Under the agreement, he gained the respect of the Japanese and Filipino nationalists like Emilio Aguinaldo in 1943. Japan nominally granted the Philippine independence with the establishment of the Second Philippine Republic, formerly known as Republic of the Philippines, which actually was only Japanese puppet state. Sometimes in November 1944, General Artemio Ricarte informed his wife Agenda and President Jose P. Laurel and his cabinet would have a meeting in Baguio with high-ranking Japanese official, and that he had to be a present there. He would tell her further that case of had to stay longer in Baguio. He would send for his family to join him. Before he left Baguio, Benigno Ramos, that lead founded of Makapili, invited him over to his place, now State of Christian, the King Church of Quezon City. He went together, where his granddaughter Maria Luisa de Fleetwood. While they were having their lunch, Ramos asked him to sign up as a member of the Makapili organization. General Carter refused to told Ramos that he did excuse me po, that he did not have to sign up with the said organization in order to prove his patriotism of loyalty to his people. He added that he was already physically frail and could not carry out large tasks anymore. However, he gave the approval and blessing to establish the organization to counter the impending American invasion. General Ricarte Tamb at the libingan ng mga bayani. Never the end of World War II, Ricarte again founded himself taking fight from American and Filipino force. Ricarte was implored by colleagues to evacuate the Philippines, but he refused, stating, "I cannot take refuge in Japan at this official movement when my people are in actual distress. I will stay in my motherland to the last." In 1945, Ricarte joined Japanese forces led by General Tomoyuki Yamashita in their flight to northern Luzon, where he was caught up in the Battle of Bisang Pass against the Philippine Commonwealth Army, Philippine Constabulary, and U.S. Philippine in Tagudin, Ilocosur. As the battle turned into Allied victory, Ricarte fell further into Cordillera Mountain. He then fell in from dysentery and died on July 31, 1945 at the age of 78 in Hongduan, Ifugao. His grave was discovered later in 1954 by treasure hunter. Ricarte's body was exhumed and his tomb now lives in Manila at the libingan ng mga bayani. Furthermore, a landmark was inaugurated by historian Ambit Ocampo, chairman of the National Historical Institute, with the granddaughter of Ricarte in April 2002 at his grave in Hongduan Memorials. Oh, ang haba ng istorya ni General Artemio Ricarte. So mga kaibigan, diretso na tayo sa presyo niya. Ang presyo ni General Emerio Ricarte ay dalawa lang. Ay, Artemio Ricarte. Almost uncirculated, 78. 130 ang uncirculated, mga kaibigan. Yan ang presyo ng pisong commemorative na to, mga kaibigan. Si General Artemio Ricarte, ang ating bayani. So mga kaibigan, baka naman pwede maglambing ng subscribe, pa-press na subscribe, pa-press na notification bell, pa-select ng all para ma-notify kayo pag ako nag-upload ng video. Magandang gabi mga kaibigan. Salamat!